Welcome back, friends. Welcome to the Half-Ass Crafter. I'm Laura, the Half-Ass Crafter. We're going to do a half-ass craft. Aren't you excited? You should be. So I found this little project and I've already made 2 of them. They are so much fun. We are going to make a little paper bag junk journal. So I'm going to show you the first one I did, which I found it on Camellia Crafts Designs. I think that's her channel name. I should write this down, write things down. So I'm going to show you my take on it. I did it incorrectly. And then I'm going to show you the second one I made, which is the one we're going to make. So I altered it a little. We're going to make the other one. I'm going to talk about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Are you excited? I hope so. We're going to do a little flip through of this one to start. I'll show you this one, which is going to be like the one we make. We're going to make one. It's going to be fun. Come with me. Okay, before we get started, I do want to share a little bit of happy mail that I got. This was totally unexpected. So as you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. The entire West Coast has just been under like snow and ice. We are finally thawing out, thank goodness. But it was very depressing over the weekend, and my husband went to go get the mail because I couldn't go get the mail because I am from the South and we do not walk in ice and snow, at least not well. So he is from up here. So I was like, go get the mail and be careful. He did a great job. But there was a surprise package from one of my subscribers, Sandy. Hi, Sandy. And she had mailed me a little package of goodies out of the blue, and it was so welcome. It was just so great. I think right before we went out to do the horse chores and get the mail, I think I had been like whining and having a temper tantrum and going, it's never gonna not be winter. It was pretty much exactly like that, actually. That was an actual reenactment, factual reenactment. So I haven't actually looked through these, so let's look through these. Oh my gosh, look at the little preserves jar. Cute. This is a hidden paper clip. I love the little dingle dangle bit on there. Oh, it's so adorable. Oh, that's precious. Oh, okay. I've got to do something fun with that. Y'all know I like photographs of people. I don't know why I like my art to do with people, but I do. She makes these. These are lovely. All of her embossed stuff is so good. Oh, look, here's another. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Look at the wax seals. She did include a little note. And she said that she's new to wax seals. So am I, Sandy. So am I. I mean, I'm new to a lot of things. So, these are great though. Look at these. Let's get all of them out. I don't know if y'all can see. Here, let me help. Let me help you see. Look at this. Oh, these are great. Can you see them? I hope so. Oh, so good. I can't get into the wax seals. I can't get into the wax seals. I can't do wax seals. Why can't you do them? I mean, I could do them. I'm capable, but I can't. I cannot have another hobby. I'm already thinking about trying my hand at macrame, and I still haven't done all my slow stitching or any slow stitching. Look at that. Oh, these are great. Those are going to be fun somewhere. Oh, I love these embossed, distressed die cuts. These are so good. Sandy does these and posts them on our Facebook group, and they're just so good. Oh, so lovely. Look at the butterfly. Oh, it's got a little butterfly dangle. Oh my gosh. There's another leaf. Oh, that's another hidden paper clip. Oh, look at that. That got stuck up under that paper clip. That's like a little bonus. There's another wax seal. How pretty. I love the color of all of these, the wax on these. Oh, and another preserves jar. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you so much. I love getting happy mail. And man, it was just so welcome because I was just really not having a good day that day. It's sunny today. It's warm. Well, relatively speaking, it's warm. So it's going to be much better. All right, let's do the craft. Okay, so here is my first attempt at this bag. I'm going to link Camellia Craft Designs below So you can go watch her do it and do it the correct way. If you want to use her way, that's absolutely fine. It does have some really cool elements in it. So let me show you what hers is. So hers has this really cool pocket that you can put, you know, little things in there, and then it folds up, which is great. Things do fit in there. I have actually put, here, let me show you. I have actually put ephemera in here. I'm going to use some of Sandy's little ephemera pieces. And then this just has one signature in it. This is supposed to be actually around the signature, but for some reason I thought it was supposed to be glued in here. I mean, I messed this whole thing up. I don't know where my brain was. So now I just have like this, there's a little, you know, envelope there. There's a tuck spot there. There's a tuck spot there, which are cool. I like these little tuck spots. I don't know what I was thinking with this though. But anyway, I did this journal, and then I really got this idea. I got inspired by someone on Instagram, a collage artist on Instagram, who did these really cool collage with these modern circles in the back and then a vintage photo in the front. And, you know, she like cut out the focal point for the vintage piece. And I really like that juxtaposition of really modern stuff in the background with this really vintagey, you know, just those two things together. And so then I started playing around. And here, let me hold this up. And I thought, you know, I have to use my stuff, and I have all this Tim Holtz stuff, so let me just use this, you know? So that's what I did. I just grabbed my Tim Holtz people. These are some gel plate prints that I tore out to make it look like a little mountain scene, and they're floating on the clouds. I got that guy, which I think it's great that he's on a piece of ledger paper. I just made her. She's on like some alien planet, but there's two, so I like that. Again, these are just like gel plate paper. I did this guy I used a sticker from one of my sticker ephemera books. Like, I'm just trying to use my stuff, and, you know, can I come up with fun ways to use it? I had this piece of book page just sitting on my desk, and I just slapped it on there. I read it first, and I was like, does it work? I'm like, it's kind of weird. It doesn't really work. People can interpret it however they want. So I slapped it on there. These are pan pastels. So I was able to use my pan pastels, which is fun. Let's see. These pages are blank. I've got her. So I've got her, and then this is pan pastel in the background, and then I put a little Tim Holtz butterfly on there. I did the washi tape of the planets because that kind of resembles all of these circles too. And then I put the little boy down here. It looks like he's leaning up against this thing. These ladies are here, but I put modern tape on top of it. Gel plate printable on the back. Another gel plate printable, an actual gel plate. So this is just a printout of a scan. And then I use this guy writing on this little bird. And then that's a gel plate. That's a gel plate. And that's it. And then these are like brayer paper. I mean, it's just whatever I found that was just colorful. So this whole thing is just going to be modern things in the background with, you know, I just want this juxtaposition of modern and vintage or antique. So this has been a lot of fun because I'm not precious about this because I did it wrong. So if you want to see how to actually do it, again, go below. You need 2 paper bags to do Julie's version from Camellia Crafts Design. So the next one I did, once I did the one where I knew I was going to get it wrong, I did this one. I made this one a bit more cheerful, and I only used 1 paper bag because I am using these produce bags that I get from Whole Foods. And some of them are, I don't even know why I have like what is seemingly a brand new one. Maybe it was attached to it. I don't even know where this came from, but I happen to have 1 brand new one. Most of them were pretty roughed up. So I didn't use 2 for this one so that I could use 1 to show y'all how to do this. So again, here we go. 1 signature. I do 5 sheets of paper in each signature. This one has nothing in it. It's blank for right now, except I did decorate this. This is a tuck spot, and I'll show you how we do that. And then it just has the signature. This is a little container, so you can put, you know, Again, we're going to use some of Sandy's things here. If I'm like, well, I want to add those to my journal later, you can just toss them in there. And then you're like, oh, that's right, I was going to add these, right? Then you can throw them all over your desk. So this is the one that we're going to be making today. We may or may not use ribbon. If you want to come along and do it with me, you're going to need one paper bag. I used one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. So you need one sheet of 12 by 12 paper and one paper bag. And you need 5 pieces of paper for your signature. So I've got this, which is also a piece of a paper bag. I've got this, which I think is washi paper, which is a little bit like mulberry paper. Some coffee dyed paper, this marbling paper that I've made. And this is like a piece that came out of a watercolor paper book. It's like one of the end papers to protect it, but it's sort of watercolory textured. I don't know. I just figured I would use it. That's it. And the measuring here is very simple. This is totally a half-ass craft. So if you're like feeling a little maybe uninspired, you're not sure if you can do all of this, if you're like, is it worth it? Stuff like that. That's how I was feeling until I made my first one, and then I was just totally inspired. So I made this super easy. You can do it in just a matter of minutes. I did some avocado dyeing. That's why my fingers look very, very, very red and raw. They're not red and raw, they're avocado dyed. So if you're looking at my fingers wondering, what is wrong with this poor lady? Is she okay? I am fine. I am just avocado dyed. So let's get on to it. You're going to need your paper trimmer. Go get it. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to trim this off. The reason is you can leave it if you want, but I want to put a whole sheet of paper over this back cover, and I don't want to have to cut my paper here. So if you want a thumb hole here, you could just punch one out with your punch, or you can leave this and then just have your paper right here, or you can cut your paper out if you want. But I want this to be really easy and simple. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm going right up to the edge. I'm feeling right up to that edge point. You know what? I'm gonna bring it down here. Yep, right there. All right. So we did that. I'm gonna need that paper trimmer, so don't go too far, Mr. Paper Trimmer. Okay, so you have your bottom here, right? Don't unfold it, leave it like it is. The one thing that Julie kept saying, which I really appreciated, was she said, look, it's a paper bag. This is not gonna be perfect. So just remember, it's a paper bag. It's not gonna be perfect. So you just wanna fold it in half. We are not doing anything perfectly or scientifically. If you're the type of person that wants to like measure and have everything be very precise and it, has to be prim and proper, you might not like this, what we're about to do. So just be forewarned. You may not enjoy this project at all. That's okay. You don't have to. You can say, no way, that's not my jam. Okay, so I've done that. Now the fun part begins. So we're gonna go back to this one. The first thing I did was I put a whole sheet of paper here, and then I put a sheet of paper here. And there's a sheet of paper here, as you can see. So, sheet of paper here. So of that 12 by 12, it's going to go on the back side. It's going to go on the back cover. It's going to go on the front in 2 spots. And then it's going to go on the front cover. Now let me show you how we're going to do this. You're going to love it. You need a pencil. Okay, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this on my back cover here. And there's my crease line. I want to come in just on the other side of that crease line. So I'm going to go about right there. Like that. And then I want to look at how tall I want it. And again, I'm going to come just inside my little line there. And that's all I've done. I've just made these 2 pencil marks, okay? I don't know if you heard that, but that was a very rude dog. Let me show you. I have a dog in here. I really do. And every time she stands up, she passes a little gas. So if you heard that, I apologize. We always are like, you're so rude. What an improper, rude dog. She doesn't know what we're saying. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line up this little notch that I've made with my line here. This is not scientific nor precise. And then I have this other little pencil mark here. So I'm going to line that one up over here like that. Again, I'm just making sure I'm all lined up. There we go. Blammo, blammo. Okay, so this should fit, not this one, this one. It should fit right here, and it does. So now we're just going to glue this down. So also an interesting thing that I learned from Julie is she uses a glue stick, and then she also puts art glitter glue on her papers. I just used a glue stick. I used this glue stick, and I just made sure that I put a whole lot of glue on there. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so we are just going to put this on here. I just eyeball it. I'm not measuring things. I'm not making sure that everything is perfectly perfect, because the beauty is, A, it's a junk journal, and B, it doesn't really matter. Also, if you want to ink your edges, you should have done that before you did this part, FYI. Julie also did ink, and I inked this one. She inked all the edges. I just don't, maybe I didn't use the right ink. I don't know. I did not ink the edges of this one, and I think it's fine. So I'm not going to worry about it. But if you want to ink your edges, you ink your edges. I don't think that I'm like a big inker. Maybe I am. Who knows? All right, so we have this other sheet, which might fit on here. We're going to try it. It's a little bit big. I'm trying to remember how I did this. If I did like that, no. I think maybe this is going to be for the back one, but you do have to trim it. So you have to figure out where you want it. I want it there. And then you need your trusty handy dandy pencil again. And then you're going to find your edge here, right there. So, wrong way, there you go. Now I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to hold it really tightly because that's a very small cut. And you can throw that piece of paper away. It's okay to throw things away. I know we're junk journals and we don't really want to throw things away, but you can. It's okay. It really is. All right, and now we're going to put, I just realized that this is directional paper, but that's fine. We're going to put this on here. Be back. Okay, so remember which way, because I have directional paper, I have to kind of remember which way. I don't really care if this paper keeps its direction. I'm not going to be really upset about any of it. Again, this is not a project that you want to be precious about. It's a paper sack that you get from the grocery store or, you know, wherever. So don't worry too much about it. Okay, so now, how do I want to do this? So you can do this a couple of different ways. So actually, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to measure this. Where's my handy dandy pencil? Why I keep throwing my pencil way over there, I'll never know. So I'm going to measure that to there. And I know that this is going to cover both of these. So, and it is a little bit bigger than it needs to be, which is actually great. So I've got my little mark on there. I'm going to trim this. Again, this is it. This is the measuring that you need to do. This is not precise. It's not scientific. You can do it. I can do it. We're all over here doing our half-ass crafts. Okay, so excellent. All right, this is what I want to do. I'm going to measure this to work with this piece here. So that's going to go to about there, and I do have to actually trim this up. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I cut it this way. so why are you making sure that you cut this cut first before you trim it? Because I'm going to use this piece of paper under here. This is wider than this by just a smidge. So I don't want this to be cut down or it'll be just a bit too small. I mean, it won't really matter, but just to be on the safe side. So this is going to go on here. Let's line it up how we want it. And then we're going to need to trim it right about there. So again, with our handy dandy paper trimmer, we line up our little mark. And remember, we're just taking off a sliver, so we hold that paper down so it won't shift. And you can throw these little slivers away. I know, some people save them. I don't save them. I also don't save the little quilting slivers either, which I'm sure is scandalous to some quilters. So then I'm going to use the medium 7mm setting. I'm going to round the edges on this because if you look at my bottom part here, these are kind of rounded. So I'm going to round this just like that. Okay. And then this one should fit in there just like that. All right, let's glue. Okay, so I've got all this down. The one thing I did want to call out is you do want a little border on here so that folks can see that, and I covered mine up with this envelope here, but that's so that folks can see that there's a little tuck under there. So you definitely want that border there. Got glue back here. Okay, so I have used up all but this piece. So now I have this piece, which is going to go on my front cover. So, and I have enough. I've cut this one correctly that I don't have to do this little line like that one. But I do want to keep this part. So we're going to go like that. And again, I'm just marking with a pencil. And that's it. I just want to make that one cut. And you can use any paper. You don't have to use a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I was going to use some backdrops for this. And then I realized that I had all this 12 by 12 paper. So I was like, let me just use the 12 by 12 paper. Because that's just really easy, right? You can use a whole sheet of paper. So now this is a little, this corner is a little rounded. So I'm going to round this corner like so. Yep, just like that. All right, let's glue. Okay, and now we've glued the front. So now we have our cover. That's it. It's done. So what you can do is, there's a couple of different things you can do. So Julie cuts this little line here to make this a tuck spot. Absolutely, you can do that. I glued all of mine because I didn't really want all of those little nooks and crannies. But if you want this to be a little nook and cranny, you'll want to glue this part. Let me show you. So you want to glue this part here. So that gets glued. And then you want to cut this part here. So if you want to do that, you can. I am just going to glue this whole thing down. I do not want a very terribly big thing. You can have it. You go for it. You do you. I'll do me. Everything will be fine. So I'm going to glue that side, and then I'm going to glue this side. So again, you are definitely going to want to glue this piece here, this little triangle. That definitely you want glued. And then I'm going to glue this. Okay, so what does that do for this? It just glues that together, so that's fine. All right. And you can not glue this together, like you could just glue that together and leave this whole part open. That's fine too. You're gonna see in a minute, you will see how we put the signatures in. Okay, so now that I've got all of this, it's all glued. My cover's done. That's it, your cover is done. So now you can do the inside. If you know what you're doing and you make journals, you can do whatever you want to the inside. Oh, the one last thing, I'm not done. I forgot, this is a tuck spot. So I'm just gonna run a line of glue up here and a line of glue down here. Maybe, if I can get the glue on the actual bag. And then I'm just gonna glue that. And that's my tuck spot. Easy peasy. Okay, so this is done. We're gonna set this off to the side to dry. Now it's time to do our signature. So I have this piece of paper, and if I look at my journal, this piece of paper needs to be about that wide. So let's cut that. Step one. And I know that this piece isn't terribly even, and I'm not really going to care a whole lot about that. So what I'm worried about right now is this the right width? Yes. Okay. So now that I have the right width, I want to make sure that all of my papers are the right width, or at least smaller. They can't be longer than this, wider than this. The tall we'll get to in a minute. So this one is good. That one is good. That one is good. That one is a little long, but that's okay. Do we want to trim it down? Probably not. We're not going to worry about it. Okay, so they're all good. Now what we need is we need the height. How tall do we want these pages? Well, I'm going to use this one because it's my biggest page. And I want it to be here. So, I know we're supposed to, that thing was supposed to be over there relaxing and drying, and instead we're using it. Okay, so, again, I'm not measuring anything other than eyeballing a few things. So now we know how tall everything needs to be. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line things up like that, make a mark, trim it up, and we're just going to do this for all of them. Okay, now you don't have to have a scoreboard. So if you don't have a scoreboard, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. We will figure you out. If you have an embossing tool, that would be useful if you don't have a scoreboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure each piece of paper and see how big it is. So this is 10 1/4. So I need to go 5 1/8. And luckily my scoreboard does that. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to find 5 inches, which is right here. And I'm going to go 1/8, which is right here. And I'm going to score it. That's one piece done. I'm going to find, and so I guess we are measuring, aren't we? You said there was no measuring. I know. But we are going to have to measure it. This is 11 3/4. So that one gets a little weird. So 11 3/4 is, well, half of 11 is 5 1/2, and half of 3/4 is 1/4 1/8. So it's 5 5/8. So 5 1/2, which is 4/8, 5/8, right there. I think that's right. I always get this wrong. So I'm going to score it, and then I'm going to fold it. It doesn't look correct to me because it's not correct. I needed 5 2/8. That doesn't make any sense because that's 1/4. We're going to go to the next 8th mark. Is my paper staying still? Let's see. Is that correct? I always get this one wrong. That is correct-er. Is that a word? More correct. Okay. Don't fold these, just score them. All right, the next one is right at 11 inches. So that's 5.5. So 5.5 is here. We're just gonna score again. This should be 11 inches, and it is 5.5, 5.5. There we go. This one is 11. Well, this one isn't even, and now it's bothering me. I know. I said that it didn't bother me, but turns out it bothers me. So we're cutting it. We're gonna cut that side. And we're gonna cut this side. Okay, now it's squared. It makes my brain happier. Okay. This one, what did I say? It's 11.5, so that's 5 3/4. 5.5. 1, 2, 3. Is that right? Here. Whoops, I went back up. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so remember, do not fold those. Not yet. I know, I'm awfully bossy today. Don't fold your papers. I mean, you can fold them if you want. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these how I want them. Some of them are going to go one way, some are going to go the other way. I'm going to put this one in the middle, and then that one, this one, no, this one, that one, yes, and then this one. Okay, now what you want to do, this is the hardest part of this entire project, is you want to line up your score marks as best you can. All right, and then you're going to fold them all together. So you line them up, and then you want to fold them together. You're doing that because I'm going to give you a hint from a bookmaker that I watched. If you do this, there's less space in between each one of your pages so that it won't alligator out as much. You want to fold your papers together when you're doing signatures. I am going to trim off this little piece right here because I don't like it and it is bothering me. So I'm going to pull that one out. There we go. All right, where was this one? This one was, let's see. I had this. I think I had that one and then that one. Wait, I wanted this one to fold this way. Dagnabbit. Oh, I put it on the outside. Oh, I folded it wrong, actually. That wasn't how I wanted to do that. I folded all of these wrong. I wanted to fold them this way. Well, now you have to just take away everything I just said. Okay, we have refolded. Everything is fine. It is no big deal. Right? Let's see what we've got. Yes. 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 Okay. So here is what you can do. I'm going to go and sew mine at my sewing machine. You don't need a sewing machine. You can sew this in a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I wouldn't even make a template. I would just poke my holes and stitch. If you don't know how to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, there's plenty of videos on YouTube to go and do one. I'm going to go just simply run a stitch up and down here, which is what I've done with both of mine. And I'll be back. Okay, so with my machine, it never fails. I always have to rethread it because my machine was never meant to sew on paper, turns out. I know, wild. So we've got our signature in there. If you sew it and you've had to sew it, you know, over and over and it's all pretty messy here and you don't want that, you can easily put a piece of ribbon on it. I just glued this ribbon down with Fabri-Tac. One thing I would suggest doing is possibly putting a little bit of Fabri-Tac on this no matter what. You could also put a piece of paper on here if you wanted to. You could put a sticker, you could put washi tape, you could, I mean, whatever, right? Like the sky's the limit on whatever you want to do past that point, but that is it. We have made a whole journal. That's it. You made it. You made a whole journal. Look at that. Out of a dang old paper sack, y'all. How exciting. And now you can just decorate it. You can do whatever you want. You could put a closure on it. I thought about tying a piece of sari ribbon around this one. This one I want to make really bright and colorful, so I have some papers here. I want to use up my scrapbook paper stash. And so I was thinking about filling that one with bright, colorful things. For this one, I found these papers that I thought would look really good with this. So maybe I'll do some die cuts and put on there. The sky's the limit. If you want to make it a, you know, a themed journal, like maybe you want to do like a whole, you know, collection of very similar things to just sort of exercise that inspiration. You can do that. Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. We just did it. We made a whole thing together. Look at that. We have a whole book. How exciting. Are you excited? I'm excited. And then we have all this stuff that we can cut up and you can use printables. If you had like one printable kit and you really wanted to use that one kit, you could make a whole journal just for that one kit. You could make this journal a glue book where you just glue all your magazine stuff in it. It doesn't matter. The sky's the limit. It's yours. You can do whatever you want to with. You got a little tuck spot here, so you can put your little ephemera bits in there. I know. Look, Barb's like, she's always using my little things. They're right here. See? And then you have a little pocket in the back. If you're not quite sure what you want to do with things yet, you can just slide them in there and then pull them out and be like, okay, this is where I want to put that tag or ticket or whatever you want to do. Sky is the limit. Thanks for joining me on this half-ass craft. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. If you didn't, that's okay. And subscribe if you really want to hang out with me and do some more half-ass crafting, because that's what we do. We do half-ass crafts here. So I'm going to go figure out how I want to decorate this journal and maybe decorate this journal. And then I'll have like a whole little collection of, wouldn't that be cute to have like a whole collection of paper bag journals sitting on your bookshelf? Oh my gosh, that would be adorable. That looks like a little golden book. Have a great day. Bye.